the big one. Lewis Dodd named at halfback for the first time this year. There he is.
Oh,
He's the last man standing.
fantastic.
Did we think the day would come? It's a bit cheeky, isn't it?
It's cheeky, but how they've handled him has been fascinating. They clearly don't think he's good enough. But if they're going to put him in the shop front, if they want to get rid of him, if he's not going to be part of the club, you might as well try and get rid of him. You might as well put him in the shop front window and see what he's got in first grade.
It's a bit sad, isn't it, really? Like
I feel sorry for him.
He would have come over here with great expectations. This Charity Shield, it started in, didn't he? He got sin-binned at the end of the first half. Humphreys came on. Humphreys owned the spot, and it never, ever changed throughout the entire year. And now it's got to the stage where it's become an albatross around South's neck. And I don't know how they go forward into this next year, because he's got 2 more years to run on a contract, and they've got to come to some resolution.
It is sad for him, Webby.
It is.
But what was South thinking?
In signing him, that's a matter for South. Look, all I can assume is that Phil Blake wasn't available this weekend, so they couldn't pick him. Tugger Coleman, no, he wasn't there. Tricky Trindle, it is one of the more bizarre, recruitments. Really, it's not like it's a small.
We still don't know who signed him.
I think Mark Ellison, who's the recruitment manager, I'm sure he had some say in it. I think I've said it on this show a few times. As far as I can understand it, Wayne didn't stand in the way of it, but I think it was a long way down the track.
Is that a problem?
Conversation with Dodd before.
So you think Wayne was involved?
I think he didn't stand in the way of it. That's how it's been explained to me.
Okay.
But
is it a bit strange though that a recruitment officer, whatever you call him, he goes and gets a number 7 from overseas and he makes the call on it? Isn't that a bit strange in itself?
I'm sure that it's always
This
more than one person.
happened before Bennett had signed, though. So
that's right.
But wouldn't you wait for a head coach to make a call like that?
You would think, and they should have. Of course they should have, Braith. Look at it.
But people in England were surprised. Now he is a premiership-winning halfback, but it was... Is there a chance that South pushed the button when he kicked that field goal in the World Club Challenge, which is really, let's be honest, in our part of the world, it's a glorified exhibition game. With all due respect to the English sides who really take it seriously, it's a glorified exhibition game in February. He kicks a field goal, they win 13-12. Is that a $2 million field goal that he kicked?
You'd like to hope not, wouldn't you? You'd like to think there was a bit more depth to it than that. But you're right, I've heard from people both in the UK and other recruiters here in the NRL that they were surprised that South, one, signed him, but also threw that amount of money at him. Look, it's a $2 million mistake. I know I've heard of other Super League clubs being interested in getting him, but is he... they want to be offering some pretty heavy coin to move Lewis Dodd, or for Lewis Dodd to want to move away from the $700,000 a year contract he's on. Further
to that, regardless of how he plays this week and the back end of the year, will he be at the club next year? Do we know?
I would be surprised.
Yeah. I don't know how it can be, because Souths have to look back on this season and they've had a rotten run with injuries. But we've said it previously, I think that they also have to take some ownership of where this club has gone the last few years. I think you go back to the grand final, and ever since it's almost like they've been treading water, hoping that they can reinvent what they had previously. But the players are getting older. Cody's another year older next year. He's had a shocking run of injuries. Latrell has his moments. He has his moments, but is he up with the real gun fullbacks in the game at the moment? I'm not so sure.
There's your list, Crawls. You got to work today on the injury list and the worth of player that is on the sideline at the moment.
That puts in perspective why they're sitting down the bottom of the ladder, doesn't it? And a lot of these injuries have been ongoing all year. Like Latrell's had massive amounts of time out. Cameron Murray hasn't been there all year. Keon's now gone for the season. Campbell Graham, even when he's been playing, has been injured. That whole list, there's $6 million worth of talent. Again, I don't know if that's the excuse, because if all these guys were on the park, I'm still not sure that Souths would be up near the top of the premiership.
Well, a lot of them were on the park last year, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
And it's a good point you make. It's a bit of the unknown right now. Everyone thought they may improve on last year, this year, but we haven't been able to see that because we haven't really seen a full-strength South team at all.
What's their future, though? Easy to write this year off, correct to write this year. The season was done when Cam Murray went, and that was in, February. What's their future? Because their best front rower is a second rower in Kern Kalamatangi. Cody Walker is at that age, unfortunately, where he's getting old man injuries. But even Wayne Bennett acknowledged, and credit to him, we're taking a risk, but we had to take a risk to sign him. Latrell plays 14 games a year. It's fact. He's played 85 games in 6 years at South, so he's going to miss 10 games.
This is why I think that Souths are in that position now where they have to start making some really tough decisions because they're getting further away from the teams up at the top of the premiership. They're not getting closer. And even when you look at what they've got there for next year, I'm still not convinced they're going to challenge the top teams with what they've got. They've got to bring some players in.
They need some middle forwards. That's what they've been missing all year.
They need a gun halfback.
I know that, but I get that. But they also need some middles, and I know they haven't had. But through injury and form, they haven't had that at all this year. And look where they are on the ladder reflects it. I'm going to be very careful what I say about how that being a mitigating factor, because last time I was on this show and I talked about how South's injury toll is like one of the worst we've seen in a long time. I got bashed up on social media from Roosters supporters telling me. And they make a good point that the Roosters have had many seasons.
A lot of clubs have.
Many seasons of bad injury issues. But the Roosters have always still managed to find a way to make the eight.
Yeah.
They're not at the bottom of the
and
table.
normally Wayne finds a way with whatever team he's got.
That's
too.
right.
You know, so that's the little bit of a surprise. I really think they've got to change a lot about their recruitment here. So I think they've got to take a different direction moving forward. And I say this because you look at their New South Wales Cup team, they're coming last. Their Jersey Fleet's second last. Their junior competition is nowhere near where it used to be. They're not like clubs like Melbourne, Roosters and the like who have got academies that they really invest time and money into and bring players to the club and spend money on young players and develop them and bring them in. They rely a lot on their juniors and the talent coming through. And I think it's not how it used to be there. And that's not through their own fault. It's just that there's not as much participation in the area.
Juniors is just strong.
The South Juniors competition is as strong as it used to be. And they tend to be quite limited with the money they spend on these kids.
I think you're hitting the nail on the head there because even this injury toll this year would have opened the door for a lot of guys, but they just don't seem to have the talent coming through at that club at the moment.
When they won the
to
comp,
put pressure.
I think they had something like over 10 juniors that were in the top 30 or something. They had a lot. They had 5 or 6 in the grand final winning team. They just don't have that at the moment. They got
also
a few.
had Sam.
Yeah, of course.
But
They had green eyes.
But to your point, Dan, about like why they should be, maybe Bennett should be playing Dodd to shop him to get him to another club. I think it's actually. I understand why Wayne's not picking him. It's like this kid's not up to. He's not up to first grade standard.
And you might.
And what does it say? What does it say if we pick him? When he's just not going good enough in reserve.
And I felt sorry
I think
for him
that says
last
a lot about, like, at least culturally, I think they're headed in the right direction. As long as Bennett's there, they always will be.
Yeah.
But their roster is all out of whack.
He was